All right. So I think the recording is starting now. So welcome to the first episode of MinnTune. This is a music podcast we are starting up. So just to start off here, let us introduce ourselves. Who would like to go first?
I think I'll go first. Why not?
All right.
Cool. All right. So what's up, guys? I'm EJ. I'm currently in a band right now. Kind of a secret kind of band. We're not putting out any music yet, but that'll come out a little later. Music-wise, what I like, my favorite bands are the Beatles, Nirvana, Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones. I also like bands like Interpol and The Strokes. And favorite movie, I would say, is Mission Impossible 4. Has always been my favorite.
Who would like to go next?
I'll go next. My name's Jared. I'm 18. I did learn how to read. I'm not in a band anymore. Sad day. I know, I cry every time.
Rip Harvest.
Cry.
Rest in peace.
Oh, Papa bless. And my favorite bands. I mean, I listen to a lot of Green Day, Weezer, OK Go, pretty good. I mean, I was emo once. I listened to Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco. Fight me.
We all did at one time.
Yeah.
But I still do. So.
Still love Pretty Odd.
Yeah.
Pretty Odd's a good out. Like it's a.
That's my favorite one.
And my favorite movie is Cloud Atlas. Don't at me.
All right, Johnny, your turn.
Okay, I'm Johnny. I'm in the bands Lonely Enclave and the CRTs. My favorite bands are Weezer, Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Beatles, The Strokes, and Arctic Monkeys. And my favorite movie, I'm not a big movie guy, but I'd probably say Clerk.
Which one did you say, Johnny?
Oh, Clerk.
Oh, Clerk. Okay, that's a good movie.
Nice.
Yeah. I've seen it. Never even
So
heard of it.
I'm Justin. Like Jared, I used to be in a band called Arvist, but we broke up. So I'm currently not in a band right now.
Amazingly, we were in the same band called Arvist.
Yeah, I mean,
There weren't two different ones.
Yeah.
two separate bands called Arvist.
Yeah.
My 5 favorite bands are Radiohead, Green Day, Death Cab for Cutie, Foo Fighters, and Paramore. And then my 2 favorite movies are Fight Club and Her. So
Nice.
Her.
So,
Her.
Her.
The man who's in love with the robot. Or computer, I mean.
Yeah.
I never actually saw that movie.
It's
I never saw it
really
either.
good.
I did actually go and see it sometime.
So first, I guess we can continue starting off with just like what we've been listening to lately. So like, does anyone want to talk about anything?
First, I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Google Plus. They've always had our backs, and soon they'll have yours too. All right.
Yeah.
Google Plus.
But I know Nijay and I have been enjoying the new Swimmers album.
Yeah, the new Swimmers album is amazing, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have. I know me and Justin have listened to it. I don't know if you guys, Alex, Johnny.
I'm actually not super familiar with Swimmers. Is the new one a good one to start off with?
First you want to start off with the first album, Drive North. Yeah, first you want to start off with that because that's like a good introduction to what their sound is, and
I agree.
They can kind of give you what their sound is, what they kind of sing about and write about, and then you can go to the second album, Brooklyn's on Fire. Just the evolution will kind of surprise you in a way because you'll be like, well, this is a whole different band.
Okay, cool.
So I will tell you, you will be surprised because you'll be like, wait, these bands just did a 180.
Yeah.
I mean, is it like
okay, sure?
Is it like a Bring Me the Horizon style 180?
Not really. It's not really a Bring Me the Horizon one style. Like Bring Me the Horizon style 180. It's more of the first album you can kind of trace. Okay, here is like what they sound like, and it kind of leads into the second album because they still keep some of that first album sound, but they don't do 180. They more just do how would I say, a reinvention maybe, or just add different sounds.
They definitely try new things and different ideas and stuff.
Not like a Bring Me the Horizon where okay we sound metalcore and deathcore on these like few albums, and then we just switch up to like straight up popish stuff. Not like that.
So it's the good.
But as well as I've also really been enjoying the new Bad Flower album.
I've listened to Bad Flower. It's a good album too. They're a great band.
Yeah, which
the first time I heard about them was on the radio.
Yeah.
The first time I heard them was a few seconds ago.
I
think I heard one of their songs on the radio a couple months ago.
Yeah, Ghost.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a good band if you're kind of missing like that sort of like My Chemical Romance-ish sound, you know?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Now you got me curious.
Yeah. I mean, they have that like late 90s, early-ish, mid-2000s sound that's very cool, but they do it in a very modern way.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I very much appreciate.
Yeah.
And when I heard Ghost, I was kind of like surprised. I'm like, man, I haven't heard a song like this on the radio in a while.
Yeah, it's like
because you hear a lot of
brutal and you know, very like Ghost is a very honest song too. It's like not like very cookie cutter or anything, which I really like.
It's not like your typical like pop rock song you hear on the radio, like Imagine Dragons. What was it? Yeah, but I mean, it's very honest. It's very like kind of not tear-wrenching song, but it's just very saddening in a way. And I just haven't heard something like that on rock for quite a while because it seems like rock radio is like doing a bouncing act. It's either super dancey alternative or like straight up just like I don't know, overblown produced like mixtures of stuff.
Yeah, I was listening to 93X a while ago, and it feels like there's very much sort of an identity crisis with rock radio right now.
Yeah.
A lot. Hugely.
Yeah.
It's like it goes from one to the next, and that's fine, but rock radio is just like it's trying to find where do we pull from? Where do we go? I mean, back then if you would have listened to rock radio, or if you would have been in the 2000s listening to rock radio, okay, the Strokes, Interpol, that it kind of has that sound, but then you also have like System playing and stuff like that. Rock radio now is like we got somewhat of a rock band, but then we got somewhat of a pop band, but then we got somewhat of a rock band. It's like you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's very, very jarring going from like Foo Fighters to Imagine Dragons to back again.
Yeah.
You got songs like that. I wish I knew you when I was young. Song playing on like the radio, and the next one you have like Greta Van Fleet, and you have
Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah.
Oh, what a interesting discussion topic of a band.
I've only heard one of their songs. I think I'm not.
I listened to the album. It was like okay.
I mean,
I've listened to the album too, and it was. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really feeling the whole style like that.
There were a couple of songs I was pretty down with. I liked Love or Leave Her and When the Curtain Falls.
That's a good one. When the Curtain Falls.
I think You're the One is like a really atrocious song. That's the only one that.
I mean, like, hey, let's like what's like the most stereotypical like generic love rock ballad ever? I would probably point to that song. Like, it's
oh totally like musically it's nothing unique. The lyrics are like middle school level poetry.
It's not.
I don't know. It's really not a good look for them.
It's not at all.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm questioning. Okay, the cool nostalgic rock stuff you guys are doing right now is it's fun and it's I guess making you money for right now. But 20 years or like 3 years or 4 years from now, what are you guys gonna do?
That's my thought because I think they're talented enough musicians, but like you can't if their next album just sounds exactly like Led Zeppelin as well, they're not gonna have a career.
Yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, again, I'm not saying like I dislike them because I think they're super talented. They're young, they're talented.
For
I
sure,
feel to say,
absolutely.
Yeah.
they have a lot of girlfriends, so they have that kind of good looking persona added to them. It's just my biggest worry is the nostalgic stuff doesn't last for long. Because yes, people love nostalgia, but people don't love nostalgia like that. I mean,
And what makes
people still
me kinda
want new,
mad-
interesting stuff.
And what makes me kind of mad is like they won't even admit that like Led Zeppelin's a big inspiration for them. Like,
Oh yeah, they were like, who influenced you as like a guitar player? And he's like, oh, lots of old blues guitarists and
they'll
like
say like Bob Dylan
Hendrix and
and stuff, and like they won't even
yeah.
acknowledge the Led Zeppelin comparisons.
Yeah, and they even said like, "Oh, we do Aerosmith." I'm like, "Come on, guys!"
Yeah.
They're Zeppelin through and through.
Like even there was a Robert Plant interview. He even said himself like, he's like, "Yeah, Aerosmith, yeah, whatever."
Yeah.
Like I know you guys jacked us. It's cool.
But
Yeah, no, Robert Plant's even cool with them. He knows.
Yeah, he just doesn't like how they just annoying that they sound like them though.
They all know.
The world knows.
The world knows about them.
When I heard their song on the radio, I legit thought it was an AC/DC song.
I swear, man, I literally thought it was like a Zeppelin song.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap, does Zeppelin like reunite and get modern again?
Yeah.
Like, did John Bonham's son just like step in for drums?
Right. I had a reverse of that moment when listening to a classic rock station. I heard a Zeppelin song kick in, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds like Greta Van Fleet, but older." And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh my god,
Greta
I
Van
just
Fleet.
missed Zeppelin for Greta Van Fleet." I was just so used to hearing Greta all the time that was the first thing my mind went to.
Absolutely.
It's funny though because there's like a cover band called Led Zeppelin 2 that like is playing at some big festival, and I'm like, Greta Van Fleet is right there. You don't need a Led Zeppelin 2.
Yeah, you don't need a Led Zeppelin 2. You don't need no cover bands. You have a one right there.
Yeah.
Music announces Led Zeppelin 2.
But
That's a very creative name.
Yeah.
One more like thing I want to talk about for music I've been listening to lately is I haven't heard the two new ones yet, but the first two new Vampire Weekend songs, Harmony Hall and 2002, I want to say the other one's called. I haven't really listened to the other one that much, but Harmony Hall is probably my favorite song of the year so far. It's just
Harmony Hall?
Yeah, it's so beautiful, and it's just one of those songs where like it's one of those songs I feel like I really needed it at a point in my life, and it's just I don't know, I just really love and I enjoy listening to it. The instrumentation is just beautiful. Like I said before, I'm really excited for the new album of theirs.
Yeah, I really like Harmony Hall.
2021 is the name of the other song too, by the way.
2021 is also a good one. I'm not feeling the Sunflower song they had with Steve Lacy. I'm not feeling that one.
I haven't heard that one yet, so
yeah, it's just to me, it's just I don't know. I mean, I like Steve Lacy because Steve Lacy's in another band called The Internet, and that's like R&B. That's kind of an R&B band. I mean, you guys probably don't want to even listen to that band. If you do, listen to the first album.
Don't make assumptions like that.
Huh?
Don't make assumptions like that.
What you guys? No, I mean because I don't know if you guys are R&B fans, or I don't know if you guys like R&B like that.
I don't know nothing against R&B. I like some R&B songs.
Yeah.
I haven't delved in too much, but I'm interested in it.
Yeah, you guys might like them. They're more like 70s style R&B.
Sure, yeah.
They're not like modern R&B.
All right, I got you.
So you guys might like them. They're more slower. To me, it just sounds like coffee lounge music. I'm just not interested by that.
All right.
Yeah.
So even like the song they do, Vampire Weekend, I'm good on this because majority of the song is just like humming and like doodling. Like if you listen to the song, it's like humming and doodling. Oh my god!
Oh, like scatting.
I won't say it's scatting. It's just they're doing a lot of humming and doodling, and I'm kind of like, what the hell's going on? I'm confused
Yeah.
mid-track.
I'm confused.
These aren't lyrics.
These are just sound effects. What the hell? It's like modern day rap music. No lyrics, just sound effects.
So the next topic I want to talk about is essentially we're gonna cover some. Oh, by the way, is there like any like upcoming shows or like tours or concerts you guys are excited for?
I
Or
don't got money.
I'm seeing Weezer and the Pixies this month.
oh yeah, nice.
Nice.
I sadly couldn't go that day because I had something else going on, but you know.
Oh, sucks. Yeah.
I mean,
feel like
we'll,
that
we'll,
happened
we'll
last
get to
time Weezer-
Weezer in a little bit here, and like I'll talk about why I'm a little worried for that tour. But yeah, I'm yeah, like Pixies and Basement though, like just they had some openers.
I'm not super familiar with Basement yet, but obviously the Pixies are a fantastic band.
Yeah.
I've heard their
Iconic band.
great live. Oh, for sure.
A lot of people don't even give them the credit for literally like spawning half like the alternative rock movement of the 90s.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, like Kurt Cobain himself admitted, "Smells Like Teen Spirit" was an attempt to write a Pixie song, and like,
Exactly.
come on,
Yeah,
These are damn good.
but
yeah, really excited
really
to see
good,
them.
though. Like,
I've been meaning to check them out. I listened to a bit of one of their songs today, and I was into it.
I wasn't really a big fan of their most recent album, but the other stuff is really good.
Who, Basement?
Okay. Yeah.
The lead singer is just fantastic.
Yeah, I've listened to Basement. I did like what's that one song they did? Is it Aqua?
Aqua Sun.
Yeah, I like that song. And when they first came out, I really enjoyed them too. I'm like, okay, this is kind of grungy-ish, like pop punkish. So I like this. And like Pine is good too.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I'm guessing By Myself is the new album, which I need to listen to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So next up, we're going to talk about some music news stuff, and we have 3 stories to talk about. The first one is the new Black Keys song, "Low High." Haven't even heard it yet.
I haven't gotten a chance to listen yet. I heard
yeah.
I did hear that a lot of people were kind of upset about it for some reason. I don't
upset
know
about it. Really?
What? I'm surprised.
I think it was the Consequence of Sound article. People were spamming it. Maybe it's just because they haven't gotten over the whole White Stripes comparison yet or something. I don't know.
Oh, upset about it?
Even Jack White's over that. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, no, I liked it. I mean, I don't listen to a ton of Black Keys, but I did like this song quite a bit, and it's
Yeah, I like the gospel touches to it. It's pretty nice.
I mean, it is like a radio rock song, but it's still. I mean, it's a good radio rock song. You know,
yeah,
I mean, it's fun.
I really enjoyed it because I mean, I agree with Justin. The gospel touches to it. I also like the catchiness. It kind of has this 60s, 70s, like back and forth between kind of rhythm they go through. The solo is really nice. I saw it was at number 11 on the iTunes charts, on all like music charts. So I was really impressed with holy crap, a rock song that's like on the top. Holy crap!
Yeah,
like this is
and
insane.
The thing about this new Black Keys song, I kind of compared this to like that. Do you guys remember that song Pearl Jam released last year? Like it was. Can't Deny Me. I think it's
Can't Deny Me.
That just like the thing about that song is like it was like just a Pearl Jam song. Very much like I think the new Black Keys is just a new Black Keys song, but just hearing like Eddie Vedder's voice for the first time in a while felt so good. And that's what I felt like listening to this new song and hearing Dan Auerbach's voice. Like it just felt so good to hear him again.
Yeah, I will admit, I enjoyed this song a lot because I mean, first they dropped it out of nowhere, so I didn't know they were dropping music.
Yeah,
and I did. Was Fever the last album or Turn Blue?
Turn Blue, yeah, that's what.
Turn Blue. Okay, I enjoyed that one to a certain amount.
Yeah.
So when they dropped this one, I was kind of like, okay, this is nice. New Black Keys song. I wasn't like so impressed, but I was like, holy crap. It was kind of just like, oh, okay, this is what the Black Keys do. I was looking for something that's like more I mean, with their sound, it's interesting because it's not super retro, but it's also somewhat modern to where it's like it gets played on like the radio, it gets played on different places, but it's not super like new, which I always found interesting about the Black Keys is how a
Yeah.
blues rock band like them is so popular in a decade like this where it's like ruled by pop and hip hop.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like
For sure.
them if like they were definitely like huge in like the first couple of years of the 2010s. So like they
Oh,
kind
for
of
sure, yeah.
the sound of the decade. I feel like
Yeah, they had a lot of hits.
yeah.
They had Lonely Boy. They had
So one
what's that
everlasting
song?
light.
Yeah. So another song. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Gold on the Ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
like
forgot about that one. Yeah,
alternative radio loves them. Like they play.
Alternative radio
for
loves
sure.
them.
Absolutely.
Loves them. And it's funny because they're not really alternative though.
Yeah, they can.
Kinda like I could definitely see them like get played on alternative radio, and I guess
But they're
like
not
alternative
pop.
is like it's very much like a broad term of what gets played on there and stuff too.
For sure. I have a lot of trouble distinguishing a lot of the time what is and is not alternative.
I
'Cause,
mean,
like-
I would say
Because they'll literally go from playing like a Foo Fighters song to like a Billie Eilish song on alternative radio.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I
I
found
feel like alternative as a label is really hard to pin down at this point because a lot of it can just fall under rock or pop too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like alternative back then was more rock oriented, and then alternative now is kind of like, well, if it's alternative, because I swear, like I saw like I heard a hip hop song on Go 93 or
Yeah.
Go 93, and I heard a hip hop song. And I was like, wait, what the heck? This is alternative rock radio. But I'm like, okay, well, alternative nowadays is probably
Yeah.
different than alternative from back then.
Yeah.
Because there's like alternative like hip hop acts and like alternative country acts like Sturgill Simpson.
Yeah.
There's
Well, I
so
mean,
many
alternative
acts.
But the way
I was
Yeah. I mean, the way I see it, alternative is, I mean, it's like a sub term you use to define it. So it's like, because like alternative metal and like alternative rock and alternative pop are all like different things.
Yeah.
At least
right.
I see it. It's just like a describer for a genre.
Yeah.
The thing that gets confusing is when it's sort of just used in place of a genre label. Like I remember, I can't remember which song it was, but I referred to like a newer Panic song as a pop song, and one of my friends was like, "No, it's alternative," and I'm like, "What's the
Alternative pop.
difference?" And she couldn't really. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like it's not a genre of its own. It describes more of a subgenre.
Yeah.
New Panic is pop.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Even though it'll get played on like 93X sometimes. Cause
Well, they're getting played on 93
Yeah.
and KDWB,
Yeah.
so I mean, I heard them all over the.
yeah, I think that's why they're so popular right now because they can be on like so many different stations.
Yeah, they have sort of a crossover appeal.
Wait, what band is this?
Panic at the Disco.
Oh, yeah.
So for the second topic I want to talk about here is this is kind of regarding the passing of Keith Flint of The Prodigy, and just kind of generally as someone who was definitely like heard of The Prodigy but like was never really a huge fan of them. Like they definitely like paved the way for a lot of not just like alt rock acts in the 90s, but also like a lot of like EDM acts such as like Moby and like electronic rock, Daft Punk,
Yeah.
I call Moby EDM, but I can see that. But yeah.
Yeah,
I can see what
when
you're
I
saying,
heard the
though.
news, I was really like, oh, damn, the dude from the Prodigy died? Like, this is crazy.
Story we have really quick here is I don't know if you guys are any like big Tool fans, but Tool announced that they're like finally done recording their album.
But are they
So whenever
finally done?
Yeah, it took them like 15 years, right?
Isn't it like in the mixing phase now?
Yeah. Not only that, but
God, whenever.
it's a new tour too, so like a lot of things
Oh,
are,
sweet.
speculating that they're actually the new album's actually going to come out this year.
It took them
Yeah,
a while.
whenever I talk about Tool around my older brother, who's like 29, 30. He gets so jaded. He's like, oh, Tool. Because that used to be his favorite band, and then they just didn't release anything for a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And plus, like,
When
I knew
was
the
the
Perfect
last
Circle album came out like
It was like
last year.
2006, I think.
2006?
Something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, Maynard, James Keenan's other band, A Perfect Circle, released, like, their first album in a long-ass time last year.
Yeah.
So, like...
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Possible.
I did like a little bit of the Perfect Circle album.
Yeah.
I know the thing with the Tool album this time is a lot of other musicians are like, yeah, I've heard it. Like Tom Morello was like, yeah, I've heard
That's
the
what I was
Tool
saying
album.
too. Yeah, Tom Morello was like, yeah, I heard it. I'm like, okay, well, can everyone else hear it? Shoot.
Yeah, I'm like, Tom, share.
It's like, damn, can we hear this Tool album now? Like,
spill the tea.
He's like, it's really good, and I was like, yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think with this new Tool album they're gonna add like a lot of modern traits into it, or do you think they're just gonna stick with the stuff they're known for when it comes to like their kind of formula?
I feel like there might be more experimentation to it, although I don't know about leaning too hard into more modern things just because of how long it's been in production. I feel like a lot of the songs will be older anyway.
I think
but I think it'll experiment.
I think it's going to sound just like their old stuff because they secretly wrote this album 10 years ago and they've just been waiting to release it.
It's been done, yeah.
Wait, it's been done?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, what?
Like, well, no,
it's just been done all this time.
Yeah, like we finished the album 10 years ago. You guys just didn't deserve it until now.
2019.
We were waiting for the right time, and now we did the correct time.
Half-Life 3 of music.
I think it's interesting that it is coming out this year because, like, this year's a very interesting year for rock. And in some way, rock music has kind of been bubbling up now.
Yeah, I can see that.
So you know, I just find that very interesting.
So, sort of like, I don't know if this is like a good like transition note, but we are going to talk about the long-awaited album that is Weezer's Black Album.
Oh, I am ready to talk about this one.
Review of the episode or first one. So, so with this, let's kind of go by turns, sort of. So, does anyone want to start with their opinion on it, or?
Well, I think it might actually be good to get like sort of a. I don't know. I feel like with Weezer, there are lots of varying opinions about the band, so maybe we should see where we all stand on the band first.
That's a really good idea. Let's start with. So, how do you guys like initially feel about Weezer?
Weezer to me, I don't know. Okay, so I really enjoyed the Blue Album.
Okay,
I think it's one of the best albums of the '90s.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm with you like Pinkerton. I really enjoyed Pinkerton.
Yeah.
I like Island in the Sun, and then after all that, I like Island in the Sun and Beverly Hills. Like this is around like the 2000 era.
Yeah.
Other than that, I kind of lost it with Weezer because I mean, to me, I don't know. Like to you guys, they might seem very kind of cool, but to me, it's like after that they just became very. They've always been jokish, but it just seems like they were just one parody, like. Band after all that, like I don't know, the Green Album stuff like that, it just seems like they became a very parody-ish band.
Kind of.
I can see that.
Like they definitely become very jokey. That's
yeah. It seems more as time goes on lately.
Yeah, and I wasn't really digging the cover album they did either. With that, they did.
Teal wasn't great. No.
Yeah, I was kind of like, no, thanks.
I don't know, just. It's kind of funny though because it just feels like they've been focusing way more on the Teal album lately than the Black album.
Oh, for sure. I've looked at the set list.
I didn't even know they dropped an album.
I've looked at the set lists for this tour, and they're playing more off of Teal than they are from Black.
That's why I was kind of if I did see them this time around, I was a little scared because they're probably just gonna play all their covers.
What?
And I mean. To be honest,
it's weird.
I'm really a big fan of Weezer's covers. Like, some of them are fine, definitely, but, I don't know. I like Weezer for like their songwriting and their own charm as it is, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so I got a question. Have you guys seen the Saturday Night Live sketch where Matt Damon and Leslie Jones get into an argument over Weezer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. So from what it sounds like, so Nijay, you're more like the Leslie Jones type.
I don't know.
Side of that argument. I'm definitely in between Matt Damon and Leslie Jones on that.
Yeah. Same here.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Blue Album is an amazing album. Pinkerton is also very good.
Yeah.
I liked some stuff off of all of their albums, though. I mean, except for Hurley and well, Ratitude had that one song.
Gratitude.
Gratitude is
Radical.
What a
Radical. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel
White
you there
Album,
though.
The White Album, though,
I adore the White Album.
White Album is
so
really
good.
good.
Adore that album.
So good.
I wouldn't
Dude,
say
like,
I
yeah,
like it.
White Album.
as
White
much
Album is
as
a good
other
album.
people,
I like
but-
White Album.
You know, you catch me blasting White Album like driving down the highway in the summertime, like any day.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
You
for
know,
sure.
Yeah.
Everything will be
perfect.
all right in the end. Had some pretty good songs on it too. That I like.
I do really like
You're
that
right,
record.
It's really
Yeah.
underrated. I mean,
For sure.
like
Yeah,
they
no.
tried so many new things with that album. Just like the last 3 songs, like the trilogy of like, except for like some vocals from Rivers, they were like almost entirely instrumental. They were just fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's like their largest. It's more grand sounding than a lot of their records. I think like all the songs
Yeah.
end with like this huge like climactic
That's true.
sort of sustain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Album definitely has some good kind of like
Underrated.
fun songs.
Red Album-
Maker is pretty good.
I'm very weird with the Red Album because I really like about half of it, and then the other half I could leave.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah,
say this
absolutely.
though: "Greatest Man Who Ever Lived" is like in my top 5 Weezer songs.
That is a
Oh, it is
banger.
so-
That is a
That song
fantastic.
is like a masterpiece.
So
I
good.
love that
So
song so
my
much.
favorite Weezer song is "The World Has Turned."
That is so.
I can
good.
respect
is
that.
great.
That's a fantastic choice.
That's like
Yeah,
that's
awesome song.
like that Blue Album. Like shoot, dude, it's just a perfect mix.
True.
And also,
I
Weezer
gotta
get a lot
say-
of credit for influencing like later bands after that. You hear a lot of like
Yeah.
indie
No.
rock or like alternative rock bands in the 2000s. You can definitely like, yeah, you guys were definitely influenced by Weezer.
Oh yeah, you especially look at some of the early 2000s emo bands, and they'll say like Blue and Pinkerton are just
Yeah.
huge aspect of our sound.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah, but I have an unpopular opinion here. I mean, I liked
Yeah.
Pacific Daydream too, but I thought it.
I feel like it could
I can
have
see the
been
appeal of
really
that,
good.
It could.
I-
It wasn't. It wasn't great. It was not great.
I do like a lot of stuff on it, but I don't think it succeeds as a cohesive
Yeah.
record.
I
But
honestly-
like Weekend Woman, QB Blitz, I really like those songs.
I mean, I liked I mean, what are they called? Okay, I liked La Mancha Screwjob. I think that one's really.
That's a good
catchy.
tune.
Yeah, Mexican Fender's fun.
that one's really good.
And I
pretty
like
fun,
Feels
yeah.
Like Summer too.
I wasn't huge on
Sweet
Feels Like
Berry is
Summer, but
pretty
it's grown on me a little. Sweet
I wasn't-
Berry is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a little
sounding-ish song.
It's a little like sort of overly sweet for my taste. I think
Maybe.
it
Yeah,
really like layers that on. I really
is-
like Weekend Woman and QB. So those. That's pretty much my stance.
Happy Hour, I think, is a pretty good one too.
That one's
Oh, I like that song. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was overall a fan. It wasn't great, but it was fun.
The thing about the Black Album, though, I kind of noticed is like I feel like the Black Album was like a better version of Pacific Daydream. Because if you think about it, a lot of the songs on
it
there
kind of is.
It
were like
is,
just
but-
like poppy inspired, but they do it so much better on the Black Album, in my opinion.
I don't know if it is much better though. I think for me at least they're about equally good. Because I mean,
I more agree with that.
That's some songs I could really just forget about.
I mean,
Yeah, to me, I feel for the Black Album they did a lot better. Because I mean, Pacific Daydream, it had some bobs and tunes here and there, but like the Black Album was kind of more of a sealed, furnished thing for me. It was like, okay, you guys really put a more like cohesive effort into the Black Album.
a little.
I
My
could see that.
my thought with Black is that it definitely it definitely feels more developed. Pacific Daydream, one of my biggest problems with it is it feels very slapdash, very rushed, very kind of slapped together. Black, I think, is more cohesive, but I think that Pacific Daydream's a little more consistent.
Yeah, I agree. I would say if you remove, I mean, "Can't Knock the Hustle" is in my opinion, the best song on the Black album.
Same.
I'd say
it's up there. It's good.
Yeah, if you remove that song, the two albums for me are. But so like it's basically Black Album is like just as good, but it's also got "Can't Knock the Hustle," and that's what pushes it ahead. For me.
The thing with the Black Album for me is like the first 4 songs, which I believe are "Can't Knock the Hustle," "Zombie Bastards," "High as a Kite," and "Living in LA." Those 4 songs are fantastic. Like, I was very close to saying this is, like, my favorite Weezer album in a long time after hearing those 4. And then the rest of the album just went kind of downhill.
I 100%
I agree with your thought, although I wouldn't include "Living in LA." I feel like "Living in LA" is the drop off. I don't think it's a bad song, but I feel like the first 3 songs have sort of a flow to them, and then LA kind of throws that out the window.
Yeah, I would say LA is
it's fine song though.
But I think it's still pretty good. I also like.
It's not as like grandiose as the first 3. I will give you that, but I don't know. I think
it's
a neat little track.
I don't know. I feel like it's just a different vibe. What?
So I like "Piece of Cake" too. I mean, that one's fun.
"Piece of Cake" is interesting to me because I really like the verse progression. The chorus is catchy. It has all the makings of a good song, but it does. It has an issue that I have with a lot of songs on the Black Album, which is that Rivers seems to be taking every point in the lyric to like make me hate the song because a lot of the lyrics are really dumb.
That's true.
I agree.
Like that one song, like called like "The Thoughts in My Head." That song was atrocious.
Too many thoughts.
It is like the Weezer version of like a hashtag rap song where they're like Versace.
Honestly,
Gucci.
I will pay up the lyric.
Dude, "California Snow," he literally says this is the definition of flow. I mean, it's catchy, but like the lyrics, oh man, no, just not.
The thing with "California Snow," it starts off bad, then the lyrics get kind of interesting, but then there's a couple lines in there that just kind of drag it down some more. Like
definitely.
the bridge, like what is the bridge? I'm trying to look through the lyrics here because I don't remember them all. Yeah, no, actually the ending, "Come on, Judas, give me a kiss, can't take no more of this. Don't nobody look at me, nail me up by the wrists." That's some really interesting lyricism, I think.
Yeah.
But then you have like the most vapid chorus in the world, and like, "If you see a tear fall, don't worry about me, y'all." Feels kind of unnatural coming from Rivers, especially.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what the hell?
I would say they haven't had any songs with great lyrics since, I mean, "Everything Will Be All Right in the End." I mean, White Album had some good lyrics. Well, I mean, they had some pretty good ones on White Album, but like I'd say the last time they had really great stuff was "Everything Will Be All Right in the End," and songs like "Go Away" and I don't know. What's the one called?
Honestly,
I definitely agree.
Man, what is that one song called where he talks about like don't want to be I'm not a happy meal.
I've had it up to here.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you that "Everything Will Be All Right in the End" has great lyrics, but I do think I'll give props to White on that too.
Yeah.
Although this raises an interesting point because after "Everything Will Be All Right in the End," he changed his lyrical approach. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
What he does now is there's a podcast where he describes writing "Summer Lane" and "Drunk Dory," where he says that his current process is, in part, he'll write stream of consciousness, where he'll just write a bunch in a notebook without stopping every single day.
Yeah.
He'll go back and highlight the good lines, and then he'll make spreadsheets, organize the lines by like syllable count, and he'll plop them into melodies based on that. And it works on White a little more because the producer was like, okay, but we have to make it sound cohesive. But Pacific Daydream and Black, I feel, don't do that as much.
Exactly, yeah. Because like with the White Album, you could definitely like like it was kind of more of an album that like just even by the color scheme, like with White, it just kind of feels like they're not taking themselves that seriously. With Black, Rivers was like quoting it as, or like he was like hyping it up as like an album that would be like,
Oh yeah, it's
deeper.
dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the cover's dark, but
Yeah,
Honestly,
I have the
though-
CD.
I'm sorry, I insulted your haircut. Oh God, life is so simple.
It honestly, I have the CD, and the cover is so dark that you can barely read the band name because it is in another shade of black.
yeah.
I feel like the only song that really accomplishes being darker on any sort of like substantial level from a lyrical standpoint is High as a Kite.
Agreed.
Yeah, okay, that's the one I wanted to talk about because honestly, that is honestly my favorite Weezer song, like one of my favorites they released this decade. Because like they take a song that's basically about like smoking pot and they just turn it into the song with like beautiful production, and it's just so much like emotion and gravitas and
Oh yeah,
like
for sure. I definitely agree.
that's kind of like one of the reasons why I love Weezer so much, because they'll take like something kind of silly on paper, but they'll like do so much with it.
Yeah,
I
like,
think.
was
Oh, go ahead.
I was
You're
just
good.
I was gonna bring up Endless Bummer because like it's a song. I mean, it's pretty simple. You know, it's a song about like like getting let down. I guess like by a girl that you're interested in over the summer. But I think it just captures like the emotion just so well, and it's just. I mean, I would say that one's got. I mean, it's a really simple song too. You know.
Yeah.
Really, you know,
Oh, for
like,
sure. That's a great song, though.
It's a great
Yeah,
like
but it's-
outro track too. That's what I really liked
is.
about the White.
Yeah.
Like it definitely had like a good like flow to it. Like California.
Oh, for sure.
California Kids was a great opener, and then the Endless Bummer was a great closer. You know, it just definitely had a consistency to it.
White's flow in comparison to the last two records feels just so logical and well thought out. Whereas I
Yeah.
read an interview with Rivers about Black, and they're like, "How'd you tackle like sequencing the album this time?" And he's like, "Well, we put the songs with the most mainstream appeal at the beginning, and we
Yeah.
put the weird ones at the end because that's how you make albums now." And I was like, "Really, man?"
It is how they're done now, though. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
And
I mean,
notice
Well,
like
like,
yeah,
you put all the
like,
good
this
stuff
is
in
the era of
beginning,
shuffle.
you know.
and notice like the first 4 songs they released were the first 4 songs on the album.
Yeah, the only one that was like not from the first half of the record that came out before the album did was California Snow, and that's because it was on a movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
what movie is that from again?
It was like
It's from Spell.
Have you guys heard of that movie?
it was a movie that, that's on Crush Studios, because the record company Weezer is on is called Crush Records. Because I think that's
Yeah.
it.
That's in like the soda.
So yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they were like a
branching out.
management firm, and now they're a record label. They've got they manage a lot of bands I know, like
Yeah.
Panic, Fall Out Boy. I
Boy.
think,
Pretty
or I could be wrong.
Hey,
I
sorry,
heard rumors like Green Day is with them now or something.
wait, but guys, are they doing well though?
You might be right.
Like, would you say that they're crushing it?
The crushing it.
Oh
I'm crushing it.
So we gotta wrap
That's a
this up
zinger.
here. So like, if you guys had to give Black Album a score out of 10, what would you say?
I'd give it a 5 because I enjoyed listening to most of it, except for the Prince Who Wanted Everything. That song is
Yeah.
absolutely atrocious.
True.
But the rest of it, I enjoyed listening to it, but I'm not sure how many of those songs I would readily call good. Like with
Yeah.
White, consistent all the way through. I love everything. Black, I like listening to it, but it feels more like a record that I would throw on as background music rather than something I'd listen to
Yeah.
actively. And I think the lyricism is really weak at a lot of points.
I'll
So
go
five.
next here because like I want to say this. The thing with the Black Album is like there like it's one of those albums like from a band that like there's some songs that I really love on there, but there's also like some of my least favorite Weezer songs in a while on there, like the Prince Who
Yeah.
Wanted
Oh, yeah.
and Too Much in My Head.
Fully agree.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
I'd say the same.
Yeah, because I mean, at the
Very
end of the
light
day,
6,
it's
though.
not my favorite Weezer album. I really enjoyed White Album, but for this album, it's a lot better than that like the Teal album or Pacific Daydream to me, so that's why I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Because Teal album's covers and Pacific Dream was like a kind of pop offshoot, but with this one, it's like, okay, at least it has some form of like balance or more structure to it, I guess.
Yeah,
it's like
cohesive
it's
effort.
like you could listen to it in the background and it'd be like, okay, this is nice.
Yeah. Well, I gave Pacific Daydream a 6.5, and I gave White Album a 9. So I mean, this one, I guess this is a better than Pacific Daydream. I guess I'll give it like a 7. So maybe a 6, like a 6.8. I don't know, so somewhere around there. No,
All right.
Yeah, fair enough.
I have a weird way of rating albums where it's like I give it like 1 point for every good song, half a point for like every okay song, and then I just like average it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
Another question I have is, do you think Weezer is going to be dropping any more cover albums?
Maybe.
I don't know about that. Oh, they were at the Grammys and someone interviewed them. She was like, "What song are you guys really itching to cover now?" And Rivers was like, that SpongeBob song Maroon 5 was supposed to play at the Super Bowl. And I was like, dude, stop.
Yes.
Meme.
Oh my.
I'm like, yes, I'll give you this one, but stop.
Can we talk about how Rivers Cuomo's Twitter and Instagram are just like, they're basically stuff that his fans say and send him?
Yeah, it's just all stuff from his fans. And honestly, I'd rather he show up on his social media more, but I'm a fan of most of the meme.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I gotta
Pretty
say,
good stuff.
Have you guys heard? I mean, like before Teal album, have you guys heard Weezer's covers of songs?
I heard a couple live ones they did. Yeah, are you talking about like just the recorded stuff?
Well, they did like a Paranoid Android cover, and they did like a Brain Stew cover.
Yeah.
The Brain Stew one.
They've done a couple
I like
covers
the
in the
Brain Stew
past
one.
that I liked.
They did. They covered Fun's "We Are Young" live.
Yeah,
I saw that. That was fun.
they
That
did
was
on,
fun.
They
Thank
did
you.
Pumped Up Kicks live. I know.
Oh, that was something else. I don't know if I liked that cover.
I kind of liked it too.
I liked it.
They were covering Hey Ya for a while, I know.
Oh no, they did they did Teenage Dirtbag too.
Because everyone thinks it's a Weezer song anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, may as well just take it. Why not?
Now it is.
I know. Do you guys know the band Bowling for Soup?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They did a cover like 10 years ago or something like that of Stacy's Mom, because everyone thought Stacy's
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was cool.
And like the single cover was called Stacy's Mom. Hey, everyone thinks that we did the song, so we might as well cover it.
People think that they did Stacy's Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's it's I think it's partially just that thing that would happen in the early 2000s where songs get uploaded to file sharing sites, but they have the wrong band attached to them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every song is a Linkin Park song.
So I could talk about
Closing Time by Green Day?
Yeah.
Closing.
Oh yeah. That exact thing happened to me. I literally had a file of Closing Time that said it was by Green Day. Wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I guess
two
there's so
songs
much. I
about
love Semi
closing a
Sonic.
chapter of your life that came out in 1998. So like,
That's an interesting parallel to draw, actually. Yeah, and they're both.
Honestly, when you think about it, a lot of those bands, they not only got big at the same time, but they were kind of all reminiscents of I don't know, they weren't breathing in the same air, but they were all pulling from the same stuff. That's what I think a lot.
Yeah, I think
Speaking-
if you look at a lot of those bands, Green Day and Semisonic especially, I can see how you would confuse the two.
Exactly.
Speaking of the late 90s and early 2000s, let's talk about the best one of them all, Nickelback.
No.
So essentially our kind of, even though the Weezer discussion took a little while, the kind of main non-album review discussion topic I want to talk about is are Nickelback actually the worst band ever, or
Nope.
No. I think I feel like largely why people dislike them is because they dislike sort of what they represent, which in my mind is what mainstream rock kind of became in that era, especially post grunge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That's always been my take.
Yeah, their songs are pretty generic, and they don't, they're just, they're nothing like special about them. But I mean, are they as bad as bands like Blood on the Dance Floor or
Hell no.
Like no, like I mean, they're not even close.
Broken
It's
Inside.
Not even close.
Yeah, I mean, I would venture to say that even bands like Creed are worse than Nickelback.
I'd say Creed
Oh yeah,
a
Creed's
little bit
hilarious.
better.
Honestly, I would
They
listen to
have,
more Nickelback than I would listen to Creed. So I agree with that.
I
I
like
feel
a
like
little bit more just because everybody but Scott Stapp are actually like really talented in that band.
that's true. Their guitarist is actually like genuinely a fantastic
Because
guitar player.
basically, the band Alter Bridge is basically the same members of Creed, but they instead of Scott Stapp, there's Miles
They have
Kennedy,
Miles Kennedy, yeah.
like an amazing singer. So like,
It's just good Creed.
yeah, it's good Creed.
Yeah.
So do you guys think that like people would dislike Nickelback more if it wasn't Chad Kroeger as the lead singer?
I don't know. I feel like the song composition, like the songs
Yeah.
themselves, actually have enough to make fun of. Because like you listen to, you strip away like, oh, it's Chad Kroger's like dumb voice, and you like just take Photograph at face value, and it's not a particularly well written song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
the
it
hell
is.
was on Joey's head?
What I need to know.
Yeah.
They don't say. They just say what the hell was on Joey's head. And they
What
talk about it.
They don't even show it in the video. They show like a photograph at the time they
photograph.
have that lyric.
Yeah.
And the music video is kind of ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. You're just standing there with the photo. Look at
Look
this.
at this
no.
graph.
I'm like, bro, you're just looking
The
at me
meme.
made fun of.
Yeah.
I almost posted a video of it once. I turned to like MTV Classic once, and the video, and I just slowly zoomed in on the word "classic" in the corner of the screen. Pretty proud of that one.
Honestly, I think I saw that same video on MTV Classic once too. Like they played like
Yeah,
and stuff and
I've caught them playing it a couple times. It's weird.
yeah.
Also, another thing. Do you guys think that Imagine Dragons is the new Nickelback?
Oh yeah.
No.
I
It's
really-
not. It's the
I-
Chainsmokers.
I think
It's
to
the
a
Chainsmokers.
point, Imagine Dragons kind of are, because like they are sort of like the biggest band of the decade, and they definitely like have the influence right now.
They suck.
And think
too.
about it. When you think about Nickelback, How You Remind Me was the most played rock song on the radio at the time. And
Yeah,
Imagine
and
Dragons, how that kind of parallels is that
With
they haven't had
Radioactive.
a song. They've had a song on the radio and on the charts since like 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would
I
say-
kind of agree with the point that the Chainsmokers are, just because the Chainsmokers have less of their own unique identity. Because I feel like Imagine Dragons are bad in a more interesting way than Nickelback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
My
true.
take anyway.
And I talk to people. A lot of people really like Imagine Dragons.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I know a lot of
they have
people
a
who are
fan
big
base
fans.
that's pretty big.
I was talking to one of my friends about it, and she's like, "Why do you hate Imagine Dragons so much?" And I'm like, "All their songs sound like generic movie trailer music." And she's
Yeah.
like, "That's why I like them." And I'm like, "Oh."
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, we're not going to come to a consensus on this then, I don't think."
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the reason why I think they're the Nickelback of like now is because the popularity, the songs on the radio, but it's just like you said, it's just the generic sense of like Nickelback had at the time, and
Yeah.
also like just
They
like
definitely had
not
a
only-
formula to their stuff.
yeah, and Imagine
For
Dragons
sure,
like to me,
absolutely.
it's like okay to me, Imagine Dragons is like borderline Christian rock, but then like pop. Like they have like a Christian rock feel to them. I don't know why.
I
They
mean, the
remind me
lead
of-
singer is Mormon, so like that might be part of it.
Yeah, that might be the case. But to me, they're like a
I
like
can
a pop
hear
version
the
of-
connection there musically.
It
yeah.
was crazy. They went to the Berkeley School of Music, like the best music school in the country, and then they got out of that and made just like generic, horrible, like movie trailer music.
Honestly,
It's
I'll
like,
defend their first two albums, but ever since Evolve, which is the one that had like Believer and Thunder and stuff, they definitely went downhill.
Yeah, like Radioactive
I
is a
can't
good song.
really-
I like Radioactive.
I can't really speak for their early stuff too much. I'm not I really disliked Radioactive when that was popular, but Its Time was okay.
To be honest, I did like their
Its
second
Time was
album.
okay.
Their second album, what was that? It had
Smoke and
they had the
Mirrors.
song "Shot." Yeah, "Smoke and Mirrors." I really
Shots
did
is
like the second
great.
album at the time. I liked it at the time.
Honestly,
Yeah,
that album has some gems, like Shots and I'm So Sorry, just kind of sounding like sort of like their take at like sort of rock, like a harder rock song. Well, not really hard rock, but like something that like the Black Keys would do, but like an Imagine Dragons song, you know?
Yeah.
Honestly, this is further fueling the Nickelback comparison in my mind because the first couple Nickelback records before they really broke out, heard they're not bad.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, the songs that Chad Kroeger did a couple songs with Carlos Santana. Those songs are super underrated. Like when after this podcast is over, you guys listen to "Into the Night" by Santana and Chad Kroeger. It was like a popular song in like 2007. Not a lot of people talk about it anymore, and it's honestly kind of fantastic. Like Chad like actually sounds kind of decent on it, you know, and like Santana's guitar, and it's just great.
Then
I'll have to
again,
put that down.
so for another thing, I also want to say, I mean, because I don't want people thinking I hate Imagine Dragons or Nickelback. I honestly don't hate Imagine Dragons or Nickelback.
I mean, I don't
I
hate
don't-
them, but
I don't hate
just
them.
like-
I think they've had good songs here and there, but to a certain extent, like the longer they last, the more pop
music they make.
I strongly dislike Imagine Dragons, but like Nickelback, I feel has been a joke for long enough that I don't hate them because I just meme on them instead.
Yeah, we need
Honestly,
them. It's like how we
Theory
need
of a
Ohio.
Dead Man are
They're a good
worse
meme.
than Nickelback.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
There is
didn't the lead singer, didn't Chad Kroeger like create a label where they're signed to them? Theory of a Dead Man?
Yeah,
Like,
I
didn't,
think
like,
so,
Nickelback
yeah.
bring them up?
like
Theory of a Dead Man, they're one of the worst bands ever.
The last
I-
Theory of a Dead Man album. I just want to talk about this really quick. The last Theory of a Dead Man album, they had a song on there that was a single. And do you know what band Theory of a Dead Man were trying to sound like?
What's that?
21 Pilots. I'm not
Oh.
saying when I was fucking rapping. It was
Oh
hilarious.
Well,
no!
are you talking about medicine? Medicated?
No, Straight Jacket, I think is what it's called. It's like
It sounds like a
Raps.
20 Pilots song.
Yeah, that's
it's
like
hilarious.
that's like a step away from the title Jumpsuit. So I can
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
see that.
All right.
You guys like
Sure.
have anything to kind of end the podcast with, like a shameless plug or something?
Phil's new album is amazing. Just wanted to say
to
that.
hear it.
Phil's new
respect
album is
that.
great.
Yeah, I mean, I heard.
That's cool.
I think "Can't You See"? I like that one quite a bit.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Okay, so
yeah,
I just want to
I'll.
continue
go
this
ahead. I'm
we
sorry.
were talking about before the podcast. Biggie Cheese doesn't sound like Biggie Smalls, and I feel cheated. Thank you.
they bamboozled you, bro.
You feel cheesed?
Bamboozled.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. Does anyone have like any like band songs or plugs they want to like? Because I know Justin and Alex, you guys are not in bands, but does anyone have like any?
Sorry, what?
I'll stop. I'll shoot some plugs to my stuff, I guess. I'm in 2 bands, so I'll say,
Damn, man.
God, I'm just too overambitious. You know?
Oh,
Hey, I feel that. I feel that. Shoot, with me, it's like with
So I'll
music, it's
say,
like I gotta like work on something.
kiss up the grind.
Oh, for sure. It's just
I guess you can't
Right.
stop the hustle. Ha ha.
I can't. Yeah, you can't
No.
knock
Or
it.
can't knock the hustle. I guess.
Yeah, that's fun. Sorry.
Okay, so my band, the CRTs, we only have 1 single out so far. It's called Moonlight. You can find it everywhere, but also on Bandcamp.
Are you guys like
and-
indie alternative?
We that single especially is very influenced by sort of early Weezer. We sort of go for a 90s, early 2000s sort of pop rock, pop punk kind of sound.
Okay.
Whereas my other band, Lonely Enclave, I would recommend the song "I'm So Confused," which has more of a 60s sort of pop vibe to it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I gotta say also, there's this one local band I've been listening to called The Argument. Just like look up The Argument Soda. They're so good. Yeah, I'm not in them,
Alright.
but they're good.
But
So that was the end of episode 1. So
Catch you later, low gang. See you on the flip side.